All the way your brother.
It's very nice actually. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just making the paperwork right up to the time. No, I wasn't down.
Hi, Bogey. How you doing? I thought we'd start on a train ride. Why not? So he just changed the points so that the engine can reverse and join up with the carriages. So cool. And we're going to go on a train ride. Why not? Such a lovely day for this. So this engine's called Peter. Never managed to have a ride on Peter. I'm good, Bogey, thank you. But you're a bit excited. So we should be allowed to get on the train now.
Julie, like your photo?
There's too much people here.
I didn't check it, and I ended up back where I started.
I see a bit of action putting the coal in. No. It's amazing to be this close to a steam engine.
May I come and join you in here?
Yes, if you don't mind me talking to myself.
No, go ahead.
Who are you?
So we're incredibly close to this little steam engine. You can even see the pressure gauge. Welcome, whoever's just joined us. Nice to see you. Feel free to join the chat if you want to.
You can come in here.
I started a bit early because I'm getting on a train. The tour will officially start at 12 and we've got a lot to cover, but I thought as the train was here we'd start by actually riding on the back of a steam train and looking at this steam engine particularly closely. So a couple more minutes till we officially start and then we'll probably the train will leave at just the right time, I think.
So he's going to be well happy then.
Yes.
Do you know what the ideal pressure is? What should it be at?
100.
Spot on. Look at that. Spot on 100. And that means trouble.
Shouldn't be. The safety valve should lift. I've been pressure down.
He's a volunteer, so.
I'm going to take that off now since I don't need to go trackside.
Sorry?
I'm going to take that off now since I don't need to go trackside.
Oh, you went that side, didn't you, earlier?
Yes.
Standing back there, so you can creep up this way, be aware that I will move this
Monkey,
way.
Doesn't encourage bad behaviour for other customers then. If they can see that I'm actually meant, you know.
Yeah.
Did you have the hat then that I gave Dad?
Yeah, is he wearing it?
No. Oh, he's got it.
Can I just warn you that I am live streaming, so it's live.
Okay.
So I'm trying to keep anything in the picture, but if you talk a lot, it will be caught. It's on YouTube.
You'd like buses to do it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we do need one more bus riders.
Here we go. Whistle's gone. Beep's gone. Off we go. Oh, I love the noises. And what a way to start the stream. A lovely noise. Proper chuff, chuff, chuff. Hopefully the signal won't cut out as we go around through the woods. Should be okay. Ciao. Whistle in a minute because there's a kind of a pedestrian crossing point ahead. There we go. Proper choo-choo. There's our driver. There's steam gauge. Coming in the first station. Soon. Nice to see you. We're actually on a steam train. We timed it right that we jumped on the train, so here we are aboard a 1919 steam engine in front of us. 1918. Called Peter. It's about the best name you could have, I think. So here we are at the first station, which is called Wickham. And they've recreated the waiting room and the whole feel of an actual station. And up there, we'll talk about that later, but you can start to see where the chalk's been cut away from the cliff. And we'll talk later about why this is a chalk pit and the industry that arose out of it. But for now, we'll just enjoy the steam ride. Although we do have to look out for the site of a James Bond film in a minute. So I will point that out to you. Because the James Bond film, A View to a Kill, was filmed here in the 1980s with Roger Moore and Grace Jones. And the big baddie, well, Grace Jones met her end just before this tunnel. And when they filmed it, there was an airship up there above the cliffs. And the baddie Zorin came down to attack them. Little known fact about this site. It was quite exciting. And here we are coming in to what I think is where we will get off. Yeah, disappointing. We're here at this beautiful Amberley Chalk Pits Museum today because today there is a significant steam event, and I thought it would be nice to start actually on a steam train and slowly make our way down back again on foot, and we will see quite an array of steam engines. Now, they are not keeping still today. I thought they might be a bit more static, but we're having to play a little game of chase and try and find them. Well, there's one over there, because they keep moving about. I found a few parked up, and then they all moved on again. Ah, signal for a bit. Hi, lovely to see you. So we just had a quick train ride on a lovely little train, and now we're going to walk back and see how many steam engines, traction engines we can see. And I was just saying that I came early to try and find out where they all are, but they're all dotted around and they keep moving. So there is no central focus point, but here we are, and we will enjoy anyway. Now, sadly, I'm of an age where I remember steam. I mean, I'm glad I remember steam. I remember going on steam trains, and this is interesting. Why is that just tucked away like that? Oh, it's the remains of a bus that's been converted into a caravan. So yes, I remember travelling on steam trains, and I definitely remember seeing steamrollers and traction engines actually on the road very frequently. And this one was originally owned by West Sussex County Council. I will just turn quickly because I need to move out the way, and you can actually see one on the move, which is nice. From Leighton Buzzard, Tasker's Little Giant. And they've actually tagged on a trailer today, and they're taking people for rides around the site, which is really nice. I wish you could smell it. I love the smell of steam. Love it. So this one would have been local originally, because we are in the county of West Sussex, and that's one I think that lives here full time. And we'll go and have a look at this rather wonderful one called Victoria. I think this is quite a special one. In fact, somebody's even written children's books. I love them too, yes.
No, you're breaking.
So I'm just going to show you. Somebody's actually written some storybooks about this. There's Victoria and the teddy bear. Here's the lovely lady. Do you mind being on camera?
No, I don't mind.
This lovely lady,
I'll see you later.
you can see by her t-shirt, she's got the
Oh, it's very
gorgeous
dirty.
picture of Victoria on her t-shirt. And she wrote these lovely stories. When did you start doing that?
About 7 years ago.
Wow.
I originally wrote them for my children.
You want
Want to be seen.
Kind of
but they're in their 20s now. So,
yes.
So yeah, they
It's such a lovely idea.
they wanted a story about a traction engine and not
Not a train.
as much as we love trains and things.
But there was a lot around about trains, we know
That's
that.
right, yeah.
We won't mention his name, but there's a lot about. And this is Victoria. That's just lovely.
There's actually 5 books now.
Are they
as well.
readily available? Or you've got
They
your
are,
own
we've got
website?
websites, we're on Facebook, they're available in the shop here at Amberley.
Oh,
They're
how
in many
nice.
museums, Hollycombe, they're at railways.
Oh yes, I've been to
Preston
Hollycombe. Hollycombe is beautiful. It's a whole fairground of
It is.
steam. Love it.
and- Yeah, it's great.
So there are people watching. I have to talk to them. It's a bit weird. Thank you so much.
That's all
So is this yours as well?
Yeah, the 2 engines.
This
these
is
2
Wendy's
engines,
house. Look at
and the
this.
living van. The door's just
Little living quarters. This is just beautiful. Oh, sorry, somebody's having a kip. He doesn't want to be filmed having a kip. That's lovely. So let's look at the engine itself, because this is just amazing. Look at this. Look at the size of that one. So this one is called Victoria, Empress of India, obviously after Queen Victoria. But it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this goes back to 1886. Look at this impressive crust on the side. Marshall and Sons of Gainsborough. Beautiful. I mean, it's a job and a half just keeping all this clean and shiny. The brass, the paintwork, the lovely wheels. Just beautiful. Look at the size of the back wheels. Stunning. Here's a slightly smaller one. again local. This is Burgess Hill, which is in Sussex, where we are. That's a smaller one, and that one is a steamroller. And I remember when these were used in road building. So these carried on in general use through to the 50s and 60s. There's a bit of a giveaway about my age. And that's why I remember them, because I'm a girl of the 50s and 60s. And you could see them going along the road really frequently, and they were still used in road building. And this is cute. So as well as the big ones, there's quite a few miniature. This is one of the miniature engines. Incredibly precise. Yes, Mr. Thomas the train. I mean, look at that little engine. Yes, I remember the smell of the tar, but I just love the smell of the smoke. Look at that really cute engine there. I mean, look at the difference to that compared to the train we've just been on.
Victoria's got quite a bit of glass each side.
Gorgeous engineering, really. Incredible. So I like that. I like the idea of the storybooks. I'm going to carry on down this way. As I say, they keep moving, so it's going to be hard to keep track of them all. But I do know where there is some static. And so they were used for a variety of reasons. Hi Claire, lovely to see you. This one's actually a steamroller. A lot of them were, but a lot of them were used for heavy work. They were steam traction tractors. They were used for ploughing, and they were used for pulling heavy things. So they had various uses, and they were also used to power up static things. And if we manage to get to the other end, there is a typical fairground organ, and that's the sort of thing they can be used to power up, almost like the modern generator, an electrical generator, but you'd have your steam engine powering up something mechanical like a fairground organ. So this is sweet. It's again interesting when you see that the tyres have not got rubber on them. I mean, that makes it a very bumpy ride, that's for sure. I can hear another one coming. Let's catch this one. So this is like a proper working one. This actually belonged to the Royal Engineers and is in... So there we go. The Royal Engineers. Feel the weight, you can hear the sound of those wheels in the time. Is it Angia or is it Avia? I'm sorry I keep losing the signal, and of course when I lose the signal I lose the chat. So who jumped in? Is it Avia or is it Andrea? You missed the train ride. We started on a train ride. Lovely to see you guys. Sorry I didn't stay up late enough to get the end. Well done Avia. Hope you've had your breakfast. So we've just had a train ride out to the far end of the site, and we've just had a look at some static steam engines, and I'm now trying to catch the ones that are on the move, because they keep running away, as they do. And we keep losing the signal because we're in the bottom of a massive chalk pit. And that's because this was originally a massive industrial site where they had lime kilns, which we can't show you today. It's not the purpose of today. But it was a massive industry, supported the Industrial Revolution and the building industry, because they took the chalk from the hills, burnt it off in the kilns, and it was used to make whitewash, limescale. It went towards cement and concrete making, and also part of the brick building. But it was also used in the steel industry to get rid of impurities in the steel. So it was really important at one time, the lime from the lime burners. And that's what this site was all about. And it didn't in fact become a museum until 1979. And now it's like a social industrial museum of all sorts of things. There's a lot of transport, but there's also a whole hall of the history of communications, telephones, and the history of electricity. So it's a fascinating site. And whenever you come, you can ride on old buses and old trains. But today it's particularly thinking about these visiting steam engines. We're just walking by an old fire station. But we can't stop there, we've got to find these traction engines. This stopped being a chalk quarry in the 1960s and then was left abandoned. And then luckily we have a private enterprise that's taken it over and developed it into this lovely museum. It's got all about the history of road making. It's got about the history of radio and television. It's wonderful. It's like a whole social and industrial history museum. Something for everybody, really. So we're coming to the main area and almost back to where we jumped on the train. And here we should be able to see some beautiful static engines. Avoid little people. Okay, I can smell them, so we must be getting nearer. So we're right back at the station where we jumped on the train. Lovely old phone box there. And another traveller's. That's where they'd live. You'd have this life on the road, and that's what you'd live in. And of course the steam engine will pull that along behind. There's another one coming up. Kind of a romantic lifestyle like gypsies, but I'm sure the reality is not so romantic. Oh look, on cue, there comes the train that we went out on. So they're coming back. We could have stayed on it, couldn't we? I wouldn't have seen so many things. And they always have this lovely open top bus. I love this. Now I always remember how old this is, because this, unbelievably, is the same age as my mummy. So this bus is a 1932 bus. Isn't that unbelievable? So that's 91 years old. Same as my mother. So here's another trailer. Again, this is local but isn't based here normally. Horsham is about 16 miles up from here, north, but still in Sussex. And that would be towed by this lovely engine. There goes the bus. So that's the original local colours. I think it still is over in Brighton Way, green and cream, the buses, and that's why the bus stop is the same colour. Lovely bus. So here we have another traction engine. It's not a steamroller, so it would be interesting to know what the original function of this would have been. So it could have been just for towing heavy stuff. This is actually manufactured in Basingstoke, which is in the next county, Hampshire. Now here's one that they're using today to transport people, which is a lovely idea. Much smaller one. So pulling things either on a farm or within an industrial setting. And this, the wagon behind is from Petersfield, but the engine is from Leighton Buzzard, which is in Essex. It's quite a small engine, but still quite powerful, I guess. Isn't that cute? So you can have a ride in the back, which is nice. I can hear the music, which is where we're heading to. Isn't that beautiful? Can't see any chat. Is that me just being... Well, sometimes I do if I click it. There we go. There we go. Off it goes. Little beep beep. They've got to be so careful. There's so many people walking around, and I don't think they can stop that readily, to be honest. I don't think they can like slam the brakes on. So this is beautiful. So they're not just steam engines, there's all sorts of things connected. And this, work on that. Isn't that gorgeous? So maybe this was part of a fairground at one time. Let's see what it's anything on the end. No. We can go up and have a look inside, which would be rather nice. It'd be nice to have a little peep inside. So lovely. It says anything about it? No. It just says who the builders were And that's from Newport in Monmouth. That's in Wales. So that's come a long way. Isn't it gorgeous? Shiny paintwork. The smell everywhere is just gorgeous. Even got a little letterbox on the front. It's so cute. There's one more lady going up, and then we'll have a look up there. So I'll show you around behind us. Leighton Buzzard. Oh right, there you go. Minus points for geography. This is the main entrance of the museum, which is nice. Let's carefully go up the steps. Look at the letterbox. And let's see what it's like inside. Oh my God, amazing is that? Look at the crockery and the lights. Isn't that just a proper Arga to keep you warm? A beautiful armchair. Isn't that amazing? I wasn't expecting it to be that beautiful. Isn't that amazing, Cheryl? It's just amazing. And look at the ceiling. Look at that. Look at the painting on the ceiling. And these steps again. Oh, look at this coming straight at me. So that is a steam-powered car. You don't see them often. That's a bit like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That is cute. Makes a nice little chuffy chuff noise. Excuse me while I descend carefully the very narrow steps. There we go. Let's go and have a closer look at the car. There's a view of the cafe here. The cafe is called the Lime Burners. And up there we've got an old style windmill. There's another caravan. Oh, this is such a lovely smell. Something. This was static earlier with its bonnet open, so you could see the workings. So there it goes. Look at that. Whoa. Oh, I love this. Look at all that smoke. Incredible. Oh my God, it goes quite fast when it gets going. Well, he's going to go off around the whole site, I guess. I want one. I'd rather have that than an electric one. Why can't electric? I tell you, they're missing a trick somewhere. I suppose we're running out of coal and fossil fuel. I understand that. It's nice. The bus is back. That was quick, going around the loop. So here's another. So this is the other purpose they had, was for supporting fairgrounds. And this one is actually called the Amusements on Tour. Wyatt's Popular Amusements on Tour. How lovely is that? Look at the lovely colours. And then behind it, we've got this gorgeous little organ. It does make you think about the fairground. Losing you again? Oh. I love the organs. Hi, Tamsin. Guys are constantly polishing them up. Constantly. Excuse me. As we've talked about the lime burning and the lime kilns, I will just show you one of the smallest ones that there is here. So this is one of the original lime kilns. So you can see the two arches underneath. And that's one of the places they would have actually burnt off the lime, and they would have really tall chimneys going up above. So they are, they've recreated these. There are a much bigger one that we can't get to in the time. But everywhere they've gone to the trouble to try and recreate what it would have been like. And at the back there is where it goes through to the chimney, where they would have put all the chalk. As you can see, there's a pile in the corner, and then burnt it off. And at one time, at the beginning in the 1800s, this site was all about that. I say there are some massive ones further back. And they've done a few nice things where they've converted little units like that. The one in front of us is a blacksmith's forge, and there's a guy in the corner that does stained glass. So it's a lovely site for kind of keeping all sorts of old traditions going. I love it. I love it because they gave me a press pass and I can come as often as I like for nothing. I love people that do that. So this is just lovely. It's got such a nice feeling about it. So I'm going to go down here to see one of their own static power-up energy. Oh, smell. So you can see here where I'm a bit far from the Black Country. You can see how they're connected up to machinery, and then they would be used to power them up. So this isn't going anywhere. This isn't one that goes out and about. It's just used to power up some electricity. Very clever, really. Go from the big ones to this, which is just the cutest one I've seen. Let's have a look at this little guy. He's called Barney. Look, he's tiny. You can't tell how tiny he is. As I put my hand in the shot, you can see how tiny he is. Look, he's tiny. Just looks like one of the big ones when he fills the screen. It's actually the tiniest little one here, I think. How cute is that? So he's called Barney. He's smoking away, so he's ready to go. But look at the actual mechanics on these things. Oh, it's amazing. It is amazing. You can see everything about it. You can see everything about how it works. Let's see if we can see where he puts his coal. Just about down the bottom there, there's a tiny door. So he doesn't use much coal, does he? It's beautiful. I can't risk going in the buildings because the engines are running in there, but I can't risk taking you in there because we'll lose you again. And I normally go in there because there's a beautiful Victorian printing press. But I will just show you this little shop. So everywhere you go, they've tried to reproduce these little units as they were. And this was actually an ironmonger's shop in Littlehampton in 1902. And they brought the whole thing. The shop front is original, and if you look, a lot of the stock is original. Oh, and you get my reflection. Let's not look that way, let's look inside. Look at this. Even down to there isn't a cash register, there's just a money box. But look at all the tools, look at all the detail. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this kind of living history. It's just lovely. So there we are, General Ironmongers, Ockenden and Sons. Now that's a company name that you still see around locally. So that's a very traditional family name that still exists, Ockendens. Look at the old typewriter. Beautiful. Right, let's go back out into the thick of it. I think it's playing a rather modern tune now. It's quite funny when you get old equipment playing modern music. It's quite weird. There's another lovely little one. Not moving about so much today, this one. I've seen it here. It's not moved much at all. Now we're surrounded. They're moving around all over the place. I like this one you can have a ride on. I'm going to see if we can have a ride on it. I fancy a ride. Let's do it. Look at this one. Let's have another jolly ride up the other end. Let's see how many people are waiting. Let's see if we can jump on this one. Can't see any chat. It always worries me when I can't see chat. I don't think I've lost it. I think you'll just be very quiet. So we're going to get on the back of this one. See how far it goes. It is fun. All of it's fun. It's really interesting. We're a bit far from Yorkshire, Tanzian. Long, long way from Yorkshire. Right down the bottom of England. So here we go. Let's see if we can get on this. Let's do this. So I'm in West Sussex on the south coast of England. We're about an hour and a half straight down from London. I'm between Brighton, which is quite a well-known place on the south coast, and Portsmouth. So I'm right on the south coast opposite France. Watch me fall over, they'd like that. There's room for more. So strange hearing modern music, isn't it, on that? I performed in a concert on Friday night and we played this. It's quite funny to hear it again now. It's a bit popular at the moment, I guess. So you should still be able to see quite a few engines from here as we go round. It's quite fun to actually be pulled along by one. There's another little one. There's room for two in that one. So it's a lovely place, and I thought I'd come because this was a special event just for this weekend. So just for 2 days they've had all these visiting traction engines and miniature engines. So it makes it a bit special. But I do come up here quite often because it's just a lovely place to come. And there's like nature trails and lots of nice places to sit. And here we go. Now, they won't like me to stand up, but you can have a little look at the engine at the front. Pulling us along. And we should be able to see around here without the people in too much to see where we're going. Isn't it wonderful? So as we turn a corner, you'll see the engine and the wheels. Well, there we go, chugging along. And then I'm going to keep you focused out the back so that we're not on people. And I will try and catch as many engines as I can as we go along. I think it's an annual event. There is a website. And I can definitely put the link on there in my Facebook group. But these events take place all over the country. There's actually a really big steam event nearby here, as well as some static pictures that I took before we started. And then you can check it out because it'll tell you an awful lot more. I mean, you can see pictures of all the displays I talked about. There is another clip of film on my YouTube channel when I've been here before. There's your car again, look, there's a little red car. So they keep moving around and then they'll park up somewhere and you never know where. This is where it's all happening, folks. Even Barney's trying to catch us up, look. How did he catch us up? He was static a minute ago. We're being followed by Barney. I think he gets a cute award, I think, Barney. Look at that, an old AA box. And so that again, they've moved the whole building, kept it intact as it was. And now that's like sells antiques and knickknacks. Rather lovely. But you can see it's such a lovely setting to wander around. We're quite deep in the countryside in Sussex here. And they've developed it into such a lovely site. So there's a little phone box of Southdown buses because we're coming up to the south. There's the bus again. I'm sorry we keep losing it. It's because we're heading close to Chalk Hills. But that's the old bus station, recreated as it was and brought to the site. And an old petrol pump and an old car repair garage. Steel and Sons, again a company that still exists. Amazing. And here's an old wheelwright and coach builder. Again, that's a building that's been recreated, a wheelwright shop. The sun's coming out, it's really quite... Trucks here, you can't... But they've all got a James Bond film, A View to a Kill. And the Z stands for Zorin. He was the baddie, and Grace Jones was a baddie too. And she met her end here. They filmed A View to a Kill with Roger Moore and Grace Jones here in the 1980s. And they took over the whole site for quite some time, and there was an airship here. It's quite fascinating. I could show you where Grace Jones met her end, but I don't think you can see it from here. That's one of the larger lime kilns in the big middle there, the brick-built building. And here's something else, beeping. It might be coming to the end of the ride. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, I know where they are. Got a bit of a bottleneck. There's another steam engine in front of us. Back to the Railway Museum. We're going slow because there's another one in front of us. You can just see it over there. Holding us up a little bit. I don't like filming people. It's very difficult. So over there you can just see a tunnel in the distance against the Chalk Hills. That's where Grace Jones met her end in A View to a Kill. And up above there was a massive airship with a Z on for Zorin. So if you watch A View to a Kill, or fast forward it, or check on YouTube for A View to a Kill and Amberley chalk pits, you'll just get the section of where they filmed James Bond over there. It's a little gem I like to throw in. It's quite interesting. It's another old English phone box and letterbox. And we've stopped right outside the tea shop. That's good. That's quite timely for me. And we're back at the station, and there's Peter the engine over there that we had a ride on at the very beginning of the stream. I don't know where we're going. I don't know whether it's taking us all the way round and back again. I'm not sure. I can't believe there's only 4 people watching. Is that because the signal dipped? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I've got a signal. It's very hard to tell. Strange telephone box.
Should have bought those as well. And I think we are.
It's pixelated. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so difficult when you're in a bit of a dip zone. As I say, they're very kind here, and they've given me access to their internet, which works brilliantly when you're inside an exhibition hall like those. But out and about, even for them, it dips because of the surrounding hills. Really, we are in a bit of a dip now. We might be going.
We did the gala weekend recently, that's when we realised he wasn't sure about the noise. So he's not going to go.
I think we're going full stop. Okay.
I've got my best mate and he's 2 kids and they're always in there.
Right in my face. Love the smell. Not sure about it right in my face. So you get a last look at Victoria, the Empress of India. And her lovely little travelling cabin. And a real close up to this one. This one's called the Mistress. I wonder why it's called the Mistress. It's got a story to tell. back by the wheelwrights. It's just lovely seeing them all scattered about. It makes you feel like it's something that still exists. It's all of a sudden, it does bring it all back to life. I love that. There's the old petrol pumps. Oh, it's very bumpy without rubber tyres. Ouch. Just went over a big bump. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We're coming to the end of our time and we've come full circle back to the bus station. So I think we're going to draw it to a close and say hi. So, on the 10th of July, lovely to see you all for now. Have a lovely day. I'm going to go and enjoy the bumpy bump back in the room. So you take care. So bumpy, I can't touch the icon enough. So I shall say farewell, if I can work out how to turn the stream off. Oh, it's so funny. I don't do this often enough, clearly. See you again soon.